Chill out. I'm ready.
Star Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Yay! Okay, welcome everyone to Star Wars Geek Girl. Today we're going to talk about the book Rise of Red Blade, which I think we said we were going to podcast about this literally in like June, and then did not, and now it's October.
Well, okay, that was my fault because I was re-listening to it because I was like, I gotta refresh my brain, and then I just did not. So, well, I did a little bit, partly, but not as much as I wanted to.
That's okay, we're here now.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we do, I have a few little, I don't know if they're announcements. I don't know, stuff I want to say, I guess. So first, I
On
went
the
to LA
podcast.
Comic Con. Yes, on the podcast. First, I went to LA Comic Con this past weekend. It was really fun. I gave some Star Wars Geek Girl cards out. So if you're a new listener
Nice.
from the cards, welcome. So nice to have you. Hope you like Rise of the Red Blade. And then I also, so I'm not gonna say a name because I don't want to dox anyone, and I forgot to ask about doing this before because I was like in a rush when this happened. But at the Saber Guild panel, someone came up to me dressed in a very lovely Padme costume. You know who you are. And they said they listened to the show, so I want to give a shout out to that person again without doxing you because I didn't ask.
Consent.
Because I was in a rush, I had to like go meet up with a coworker thing. So I'm not doxing you. I just want to give a shout out. It was very nice to have that interaction. You were very sweet. They gave me a really cool, a little like Mandalorian sticker. It's like watercolors, super pretty. So yeah, if you're listening to this, you know who you are. Thank you so much. That was very very lovely to hear from you. It was so cool. It's always a bit surreal when at a con when like a real person is like, oh, I know your podcast, because sometimes it does feel like we record these and then it goes to the void.
Yeah, but I feel like it's even more like interesting because like they know who you are.
Yeah.
And we podcast.
Right.
It's not like we podcast a video. I don't know.
Yeah. But it was really cool. Yeah, it is. Even like online comments are very cool, and I'm always so grateful for them. But it's like when you're faced with a real, live, breathing person, and they're like, "Oh, I listen to your podcast," and it's like, a person does? This is crazy. So thank you so much for doing that. If you ever see me at a con or anything, and you listen to the show, come say hi. I'm nice. I'm awkward, but I'm nice, and I always like to hear. But yeah, that was cool. I don't know. I can do that. Yay. Again, without doxing anyone. I don't do that.
No.
But yeah. So there's that. LA Comic Con. I don't know what the next con I'm gonna go to is. I don't know. It's kind of yeah. But yeah. So there's that. And then the other thing. So this was announced on the Star Wars Geek Girl socials last week on the 10th anniversary of Star Wars Rebels. You might have seen it. If you don't follow us on Star Wars Geek Girl socials, you should at SW Geek Girl on Twitter and Instagram, and Star Wars Geek Girl on Facebook. But Star Wars Geek Girl is doing a Rebels trivia bingo night on Friday, October 25th. I'm really, really excited. The sign up just opened yesterday on the day we're filming, probably a couple days ago when you're listening to this. So just go to starwarsgeekgirl.com/bingo. And you can sign up on there. It has a whole explanation of like how it all works, all those like little fine print kind of details and stuff. Basically, if you've never done a trivia bingo before, the way it works is your bingo card, instead of numbers on it, will have like pictures of characters and like planets and ships and stuff. I will label the planets though, because I feel like that's hard to tell what planet is which sometimes. So this will be labeled, but everything else is a picture.
No, extra hard difficulty.
I've been back and forth on if I'm going to label the ships or not. I have to decide. If you have a preference, let me know online. Kindly, please. I'm sensitive. But
no, this sucks.
Anyway, the way it works is your card will have those pictures, and then so normal bingo is like you roll the little bally thing, which I don't have, by the way. We're gonna use an online one. But anyway, roll the little bally thing, and then like a little bingo ball comes out, and you call it the number. But instead of calling out a number, I'm going to read like a little like statement or trivia question that applies to a character or a ship or planet that you might have on your bingo card, and then you mark it that way. So it's like, a bit chance like bingo, but also a bit trivia. You gotta know some stuff about the characters to know when to mark them. So that's how it works. It's going to be held on Discord. There's going to be a Discord link sent out when you're going to email you a PNG and your Discord invite a couple days before bingo, which again is October 25th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll get all that stuff. And so it's totally free. Sign up, please play. We're going to announce prizes in like the week kind of leading up to the bingo, so the sign-up's closing. So you'll see what the prizes are. They're top secret for right now.
Top secret.
But yeah, so there are prizes. It's not just like nothing. You're gonna get stuff if you win.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's totally free. Please join us. Please play. It's open to everybody. But if you want to increase your chances of winning a little bit, you can get a second bingo card. And you can do that by donating to the charity Global Communities and providing proof of that donation. It's just a donation of $10 or more to celebrate 10 years of Rebels. So Global Communities is a humanitarian aid charity providing relief around the world for people affected by different crises, including in Ukraine, Gaza, and climate crises as well. So it's a cool charity. They're one of the top rated as far as like reliability. If that's, I don't know if that's the right word, but like their donations go to stuff. Like they're top rated in that. I did research on which charities I wanted to use for this, and I settled on them. So they're a cool charity. They do a lot of great work around the whole world. And if you donate $10 or more to them, you can get a second bingo card and have a little bit of a better chance at winning. Twice as good a chance, you might say. So yes, that's how you can get a second card. And all that information, as well as like some other like details and things, they're on the Star Wars Geek website, and they're also on the sign up form. Which is just like a Google form. You just click a link on /bingo and it shows you the Google form. But pretty cool. So sign up and play with us. Donate to a good cause if you want to. If you want to have a better chance. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's written out much more organized. I'm kind of a rambler. It's written out much more organized on the website. And all the details are there. So mark your calendars for October 25th and play bingo with us.
There's more character when you're speaking and talking about it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I ate a lot of bread and I had a late lunch, and so I'm like low-key hiccuping. The bread makes me hiccup.
Oh.
I don't know why.
All them yeast bubbles.
It's all the yeast. It was, I just went out with a friend, and the server's like, here's your plate of free bread as an appetizer.
Oh.
They had some oil and vinegar. I was going kind of crazy on the bread.
When I was in college, my friends were like, we should go to Texas Roadhouse. And I was like,
Ooh.
you're going to have me like I'd rather die than go to Texas Roadhouse. I don't know why. I was trying to be silly, but I was also like, why would we go to Texas? I've never been. And I was like, that sounds like not a place to get good food. And I was like, whatever, sure. And we went, and then like the bread, that's all I ate. I was forced to buy something, so I bought a kid's hot dog. But I think I ate like 5 baskets of their bread, and I was like, "Wait, it's like all you can eat, like all you can, just unlimited bread." They were like, "Yeah."
Is it like cinnamon butter? They have like something butter.
Yeah.
I can't eat it.
God.
Good. I've not been to Texas Roadhouse in probably more than 10 years. So that's kind of crazy.
Damn. Really I don't even think I think there may be one here, but I don't even know.
They don't need Texas Roadhouse in California. They just need California Roadhouse.
Exactly. You get avocado toast.
Do they have Texas Roadhouse in Texas?
I think so. So there's a Texas Roadhouse all the way.
Oh, you're looking it up.
Oh my god. It's so far away, like San Bernardino.
How far is that? I don't know California cities.
From like my place, it's about 2 to 3 hours.
Jeez. Okay. I can't really eat anything.
I would
until my
drive.
house anyway. Actually, I don't think I can have the bread anymore, which is pretty sad.
Probably got milk.
Probably. You know what's good bread that I also can't eat anymore? Red Lobster cheddar biscuits. So good.
I never actually
My mom
had
makes
them.
a really good vegan version.
Ooh.
It's pretty. Actually, I should ask her for the recipe. It's pretty good. Now I want some.
Bussin'. That sounds good though. How did we get here? Oh, bread.
I don't know. Oh yeah, bread.
Yeah.
Like bubbling.
But that's cool. So we all gotta sign up. Whoever doesn't sign
Yes,
up gets
please
beat
sign
up.
up for bingo. It'll be really fun. Like I said, prizes, or we'll announce the prizes. So keep an eye on Star Wars Geek Girl Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and stuff. I don't know what I said and stuff. That's it. I don't post on other things. But keep an eye on those things for the prize announcements. There's actually, if you look on the social media and on the website, there's like a silly little calendar showing like what the plan is for things. So you have a long time to sign up. So sign-ups opened on Monday, and then if I can pull up the calendar, if my phone will load, that would be
No, not allowed.
great. But anyway, so
And
sign-ups are
always
open.
Remind you.
Sign-ups are open. Yeah, and we'll remind you. I'm going to post so many reminders. Sign-ups are open until the 21st because I need a couple days to send out all of the cards and the emails and the Discord stuff. So sign-ups close the 21st, and then bingo's the 25th. Prizes will be announced from the 14th to the 20th, and then your invites and cards will be sent out on the 22nd and 23rd, and then we'll play on the 25th. So it's a cool way to spend Friday night. If you want to play some bingo, maybe earn some prizes. Rebels themed prizes, obviously.
Obviously,
that did come out a little British. I don't know why it did.
Well, I was thinking Professor Snape, but I guess he is British, right?
Yeah. Not a good British accent. I'm not very good at it.
I'm not good at accents either.
Also, while we're here talking about 10th anniversary Rebels, there's an article on Star Wars Geek Girl and Star Wars Rebels Jeopardy, between Lizzy and her dad. So who won Star Wars Rebels Trivia Jeopardy? You have no idea.
Who won? I wonder.
You don't know. You have to listen. It's pretty fun. But yeah, you gotta.
It was fun though.
Yeah. It's fun for me. I didn't have to answer any questions. I made them.
Well, all right. It was still fun to me. Still is fun.
You beat your dad on the buzzer a couple times.
I did. No, it's okay. I just beat him up in real life. No, that wouldn't work either. That's okay. Anyway. See, it was very fun though. So everyone needs to listen to it.
Yes, so listen to that. Read stuff on the blog. There's a couple book reviews up there recently too. And sign up for Star Wars Bingo. Once again, StarWarsGeekGirl.com/bingo, or just StarWarsGeekGirl.com, and then go click the tab that says bingo. And it's there. Yay. All right. So I think that's all announcement-y stuff. There's no Star Wars news. So now it's the Rise of the Red Blade time. The book.
The book. The one book. Well, the of 5 books that I have read is Star Wars. I've read books.
It's always great when you read a book, because otherwise the only book person I can talk to is your dad.
True. But this one I was just like...
It's fun when you read.
Yeah, it's like... So basically, I have to explain it a little bit. But my dad, put it on in the car, and he'll just put on random things that he's like, hey, Lizzy, you'll find this interesting. 9.9 times out of 10, I will not find it interesting. And I'm sorry, Dad. But for this one, it has... We're talking about it now, right?
We'll do non-spoiler thoughts and then
Okay.
Spoiler.
Well, I guess before I get into that part, my non-spoiler thoughts about it were like, oh my god, this is like some serious edge stuff, like edgelord things. I think I might be into this. And it's like the characters are so interesting. And it's like Iskat Akaris is like just like she's so angry. I feel like that's non-spoiler. You can kind of figure out easily, but like she's just such an angry person that throughout the book I was just like, "Oh my god, I understand. I understand." But to be fair, I don't like carry out the actions. I just like keep it bottled up and I'm like, "That jerk." Okay. Can't kill them. I can't do anything. But so like reading this was just so cool, and like seeing how her thought process throughout the book changes and like just keeps changing and then forming, and like how other characters change around her or don't change around her. um Her reaction to that, like all of it to me was just really really interesting. I thought it was just cool, edgy, but not like cringe edgy like Kylo, where like nothing even really happened to Kylo, but he's mad anyway. Like Cat, like there's so much that happened that she's so rightfully upset, and while the actions that she does aren't great, you can kind of from a certain point be like, I get it, even though like most of them are wrong.
You can like see how she got, like, even though it's like horrifying everything she does, and you want to like slap her to stop, but it's also like you get to why she's at this point. Like it's not like I don't know, like you totally get what's going on with her.
Yeah, it's not Kylo killing his dad and being like, "Well, I just did it because I did it."
Well, Mom made me go to school.
Yeah, Mom. So it's so nicely complex. That's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, I would say
is my non-spoiler.
Here. And I really liked, because I've read a lot of the High Republic books recently, and I love them. And a lot of the High Republic books, you have like multiple different narrators that you're going through, which I enjoy a lot because I can see the different perspectives, what everyone else is thinking, and like I feel like sometimes seeing a character through another character's eyes is really, really fun. With a lot of these books, with Star Wars books in general, there's a lot of flipping between protagonists. Even if it's just 2 or 3 or 4, however many. Where with this book, you are just with Iskat the entire time, and it's not in first person, but it's third person limited. You're in her head like the whole book, and I really like that because like because she obviously she takes her own side. Like she's always self-justifying and stuff, and you can like tell, like if you read into it, you can tell she knows what she's doing is wrong and she feels guilty, but you can also see her suppressing that and pushing it down. Like there's points in the book where she, unprompted, like kills someone or does something horrible, and she's like, "Why'd they make me do that? That was so stupid and mean of them to make me do that." And the person didn't do anything. Like if you look at the factual, like what the actions were, what the other person said, they did nothing wrong. They didn't do anything. And she's like, "Why didn't we do that? That's so horrible of them. What a stupid, terrible, awful, selfish person." It's like, "Yes, Kat, honey."
Chill pill.
But I loved it. It was cool. I think a lot of times when we see like a fall to the dark side, like with Anakin or with like Maul or Kylo, like we're kind of getting their point of view, but we're also getting a lot of other characters' point of view, right? So much. Once Anakin falls in Revenge of the Sith, he largely fails to be a perspective character anymore. Like we get shots of him killing people, but like it's always framed from his victim's side, or we see like Obi-Wan and Padme reacting to what he's doing, and they become the point of view characters for as much as they can be in a movie like that. Where here it's like we're not in anyone else's head. We don't, besides what they express directly to Iskat, we don't see other people. We don't get to be in their head when they see what she's become, and that was really interesting to read. Because like it gets to a point, I think towards the end of the book, this is kind of spoilery, but she like reunites with people she had known like before she fell to the dark side, people who didn't know she fell to the dark side. And like at that point in the book, it's towards the end, and it's like you are very, very used to Iskat as she is now, and then you see these people who don't know her as this from her past, and you see like kind of get their reaction, and you're like, oh yeah, like she is so radically changed from what she was in the beginning, that it's so fascinating. And it's also like, it's a really interesting thing too, where she's so dramatic. She is so dramatic. And so like she does horrible things, and she's like, yeah, well, this person was mean to me when we were like 11, and I'm like, yes, that wasn't cool, but do you think you're
let's take a
overreacting a little
chill
bit, honey?
pill.
But it's great. Like she's such a cool character, and it was really great to read and be in this very dark side, and also see how the dark side like consumes you, you know.
Yeah.
Like we get to a point, like I think, where initially when she kind of flips that switch a little bit, not that it's instant, but like she kind of like makes that full step into the dark side, and she's at first, this is so freeing, I can be who I want, like I can do whatever I want. But then by the end it's like, no, the dark side is a cage of your own making that's going to crush you, and and it's really is suppressive, and it's like so confining. Like you're not free when you're down that path. Like you are a slave of your own making, or in the case of the Inquisitors, also, under the thumb of the Empire. And I don't know, it's just really cool to see that. What an interesting book.
Yeah, it's a
Okay, we know about
wild
spoilers.
ride.
It's a crazy ride.
Okay.
It's so good.
It's so good. Basically what I was gonna say in the beginning, which I'm so surprised that I remembered. It's just like when my dad put it on, it was like all of a sudden it was like, what's the author's name? Delilah Dawson. She was like, so don't kill yourself, and I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Why? What happened? Because I thought I missed something in the beginning of the story, like because I had my headphones in, it was everything. That's the first thing I heard, and I was like, what the hell? And so then I was like, okay, all right, you caught my attention. Also, that made me cry. Whatever. But she was basically talking about how she went through like, anxiety and depression and like a bunch of things throughout her life, and just how like trying to explain this and not like, because my first thing is to joke about it, but it's not something to joke about. It's just like like this. She just talks about how someone in the book does commit suicide, and how how overwhelming life can be, but there's always going to be someone out there that cares about you, or loves you and will want to take care of you. You just have to, they'll be there for you, or you have to look for them. It's a whole thing. And I was listening to that and I was like, oh my God, why do you have to tear me apart like this? We haven't even gotten to the story yet. And then throughout the entire, like, listening to the book, I was like, who was it? Who did it? Which character was it? So I was pretty much hooked from the beginning. And not that I'm trying to spoiler, I know we're in spoiler free, or spoiling
we're
now, but I was like, I want to
yeah.
get to that part. It's just yeah, that part made me cry. and then the whole, like, just meeting its cat when she was a little baby. Well, not a baby, but you know what I mean, like a little child, little kid. And then she explains how, like, the other kids don't like her because she was with a friend and they were doing training exercises. There was a lightsaber. Also, feel free to, like, correct me. I feel free, please. But like, there's a lightsaber or like an item up top on the shelf, and they were supposed to bring it down gently and have it, like, just bring it towards them with the Force. And Iscat didn't do that, and she knocked, like, the bookcase onto her friend, and her friend's back, like, broke.
Yeah,
and she couldn't like,
yeah,
stay.
her friend they had her in a medical facility, and then it was like she healed, but she was like they said, or Iskat said, which again she's an unreliable narrator. I don't know how true it is, but Iskat said her friend was so afraid of her she left the Jedi, which is very sad for both of them. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, so like Iskat already is like, and she's also like she's a very rare species too. Like I forget the name of it because they like don't know her species till like the end of the book, but she's like this very rare species. So she's the only, and while the Jedi are very diverse with like a million aliens, she's the only one that looks like her. Like other, races, like there are multiple Wookiees, multiple Twi'leks, all that stuff. But Iskat's the only one that looks like her. And while she even says like the Jedi were accepting, it is like, when you feel like you're different and don't know why, like that is hard. And so she has this stuff where it's like a bit like, it's, kids being kids. Kids suck, even when they're Jedi, unfortunately. So it's a bit of that. And then also a bit of it, like as she gets older into more teenager area, it is a bit more of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where Iskat is defensively mean, even when someone hasn't said anything to her yet. And so then they're going to kind of bristle at her at the very least. And so it is like, it's very early on, I think. The thing with Iskat to me is that she's such a self-destructive character. Like at any point, she makes the selfish choice that ultimately ends up harming her. And that's like very early on, even when she's still like a very sweet little Jedi girl, like that's still like early on, like that's part of her. And unfortunately she didn't quite outgrow that, and it's so tragic and so interesting. And then she has her master, Picorian, that's what it is, yeah. But they like don't.
Which we don't find out until like so at the end. I didn't know that either. I didn't remember.
So okay, we don't have to go through the book like play by play. We can just like talk about it. Also, so her master is Sember Bay.
Oh my god,
Sember Bay. I think the council should not have let her take Iskat as a Padawan. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that like that's where I think the council should have been like, no, because so here's the thing. So Sember Bay is her master, and they don't really get along. Like Iskat is very aware that Sember Bay did not want a Padawan, and she's just in general really weird with Iskat. And then we later find out Sember Bay dies in the Battle of Geonosis. That's the other thing. Like the Jedi have a mission on Geonosis, and they have Padawans with them. And the Padawan mission is like, we're gonna sneak through and like do something and get out. Like the Padawans aren't supposed to be in danger, but of course it's Star Wars, things go wrong. And like a bunch of Geonosians show up, and there are people die, including Sember Bay. Also, like Iskat goes on her first like killing spree.
Oh yeah.
Of Geonosians, and she gets like really into it. And it's like a master and a Padawan witness this. And the master's like, okay, we're gonna need to talk about this for a little bit. We're gonna need to figure this out. And the Padawan's like, nope, like too scared. But anyway, so Sember Bay dies in Geonosis, and then Iskat is there's like a crop of Padawans that are knighted following Geonosis. They're like, we consider this your trial, and Iskat's one of them. And then she like starts to kind of unravel the mystery behind Sember Bay. Later, we find out that there was another Picorian Jedi who was Iskat's mom. And Iskat's mom struggled in the Order, eventually left, and had Iskat. Okay, so she leaves the Order, goes back to Picora, right, which was their home.
Yeah.
And she gets there, but because she was a Jedi, she wasn't really connected to their culture. And so she just kind of like, even though the people, she's also like sort of like Iskat, she seems a bit self-destructive. Like they try to integrate her, but she just kind of like isolates herself, kind of hangs out, like doesn't really do anything. She's very depressed. And then she has Iskat, and she's like, I can't be a good mom to Iskat. So she hopes to gives her to the Jedi, hoping that it'll give Iskat a better future. And then she is the character that sadly commits, because she just feels so lonely in Picora. And that's the story. But then like it was like Sember Bay was a friend of Iskat's mom who tried to save her, was too late, but took her baby in. And that's why Sember Bay took Iskat as a Padawan, because she felt that obligation. But it didn't work out. And this is like, I wonder, like, how different could this cat's life have been if her master didn't take her out of obligation, and if her master didn't have that baggage attached to her. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if she had
I
had
think
anyone else as a master. I'm not saying
masters
things would have been great, but it would have been better, because Thunderbird sucks. Boo.
masters that are like, hey, I want this kid because I feel bad, should not have that kid.
No,
should not have that child.
And we're not entirely aware, like, we're not really clued into how much, like, the council knew about the whole situation. Whether they knew or not, like, if they knew, I wish they should have been like, nope, that's attachments. We know what happens with that. No, we're not doing that. Not good.
We're a little smarter than that, guys.
But
I do like how fast this book like moves.
Oh, it's very quick. It covered a long span of time. But sometimes, like, it's not a knock on the book.
Yeah.
I like the book. But if you read, like, some of the Thrawn books, some of them take over a really long span of time as well, but they are kind of slow moving. You know, it's Thrawn, so the action is, like, sitting in a room being like, and now this ship goes over here, and this one goes here, which is cool, but it's not, you know, quite as exciting as Cat's kill sprees.
Yeah. So I feel like it's also just, like, it's, like, it feels so fast also because it's a war. Like, it should, like, I feel like time should go so fast because it's a horrible, traumatic war.
And the Clone Wars is only, like, 4 years, too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. It's only a couple of years. Yeah, then we're in the Clone Wars, and so it's got the master, and they send her on a few missions. It's not like one mission. Yeah, no, her missions are great. She's with 2 other Jedi. One is Tualan? I don't know how to say his name, actually. Tualan. Okay. Tualan. I read books, I don't listen, so I never know how to say it.
Yeah, that's how I read. I listen to him.
I never know how to say anyone's name. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
But, so it's him and then another Jedi. The name I can't remember. But
I don't know.
So they're on this little mission, and it's like they're all part of this crop of new knights that are on this mission. And it's like them and a few clone troopers. And it's supposed to be a mission where it's like, don't do anything. Like, check this out, do a little thing, and then leave. And, like, that's the mission. And it is going okay, but then the one Padawan that's not Tualan, he dies. He, like, gets, like, stung by these, like, scary birds or something, and, like, falls to death. It's really horrible. That was also where Iskat's like, I probably could have saved him, but he was a jerk. And it's like, all right, girl. Really? But she also, like, after he dies, she's like, guess I'm in charge now. And she kind of, like, goes through his stuff.
Oh,
and she finds
honestly,
out she finds out that Mace Windu had asked this other Jedi to keep an eye on her because he was just like, hey, like, we've noticed, you know, with violence, she is a little concerning behavior. Like, just kind of keep an eye on her, see how she's doing. And also, like, he was, like, writing something to Windu that was, like, positive about her. And that was another one of those moments where I was like, oh, this is a really unreliable narrative. Because if you read what he wrote, it was nice. He was like, yeah, she's doing all right, you know. Not perfect, but no one, like, it's a very nice little report to Windu. And she's like, how dare he pity me? How dare he? Like, and it's like, he wasn't. He was being nice. She's like, this is so insulting. It was, like, nice. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, this girl.
I am I am such the same way though, because I was like listening to it and it's like her reading it, so I'm like, oh, that does sound crappy, what the hell. And then I was like, no, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't horrible.
That's probably also the difference between listening and reading to it, where if you're listening to her voice reading it, like, she's putting something into it, or for me reading it, like, just words on a page, I was like, oh, that's pretty nice. And then this cat's like, how dare he? This is so insulting. I'm like, oh, I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah. But and then she was really mad, and then she's like, you know what? I'm gonna blow stuff up on this mission. And then, like, blows a bunch of stuff up. And then it's like, and then they find out the Republic's like, hey, there's civilians there. We didn't want to bring the war there. We just want to like check out this factory. And now we gotta like fight. And this cat's like, well, they don't know. I know better. So
It was also like such a weird thing where they didn't communicate to her that there was people there, and she just kind of
yeah,
saw like battle droids and was like, "Wait a second."
yeah.
Ugh.
But then it's also like follow the mission.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
yeah, of course. But she also didn't have that leader there because he kind of just died.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just bad communication. Where it's like she should have known, but it's also like I don't know.
It was
So they
not
she does that
great.
mission and it doesn't go well, and then the Jedi are like, you need a little break, like you're going through a lot. They're like you're going through a lot, like you just lost your master, like how about you take a break here, and could you like help raise the children, like help teach the kids, the younglings, and you have Jedi being like, it's like one of the highest honors, like that you can do, and it's like a whole thing, and she's enraged, enraged by this, that she has to do this, and then so there's a little while in the book where that's what she's doing. She's helping the kids, and that was also really interesting because like you have people very earnestly saying like, oh, you're really good with the kids, like, oh wow, and she is just so mad, and I think that's where we start to see her really kind of depart from Jedi teaching, because the thing is like she is growing frustrated with the Jedi because she realizes when she notices like, I'm really good at killing, I can kill so good, you guys, I can kill so good, like you need to put me on the front lines, I can kill everybody, it's so good, and that that's not what the Jedi are here for. It's not part of their culture. It's not, and so it's like it becomes like an incompatibility where it's like that's what she wants to be recognized for, and that's how she wants them to see her, and that the Jedi, like they're just not about that, like, and it's a really clash where she's like she feels like they're punishing her, when really they're like, in their perspective, they're like, like it's really concerning how much you like to kill people, so we're gonna take you away from the opportunity to kill people, and hopefully that's good for you, but it's like she wants to be recognized for something the Jedi are never going to recognize her for, because it's not who they are, and
It's also at this point where she's just starting to lose trust in the Jedi because they keep trying to hide all these secrets from her. Like
yeah.
they refuse to tell her what her species is. Was just like so strange to me.
Well, they don't refuse. I
Um
thought Semperve like erased the records of her species and her mom
Right, but
from the
why? Why
archives.
doesn't anyone want her to know? And then it's like Jocasta knew, but Jocasta has always been kind of a jerk, but like she's just like, how am I supposed to tell people who I am? And she's like, you're a Jedi. That's all you need. And it's like, yes, but then it's unfair that all these other students like Tualan get to go to their home planet, get his teeth sharpened and all these things. So she just has all this jealousy and so much
Mm-hmm.
like so many questions that no one wants to answer, especially like
Yeah.
why like keep her mom a secret in general.
Yeah. Well, it's like most of the Jedi don't know, is the thing. Like they didn't really know her mom that well. They didn't all know the whole story. The main thing was Semperve erased from the archives, and there's like that other Jedi that was friends with her mom also, and he's the one like really keeping secrets from her, because, and as we learn later, like he thinks it's like just gonna hurt her and not do her any good to know it, and ultimately he's kind of right. It doesn't do her any good when she learns, but also like I don't think he gets to make that choice for her. Yeah, she really loses faith in the Jedi, and she makes friends with this guy Hizo, who works in the temple.
Ugh.
He sucks.
This man sucks.
So he's someone who trained to be a Jedi, ultimately he didn't pass the trials, did not go through with becoming a knight, but he still decided to work in the temple. So he works in like their I don't know, it's like their IT department, whatever like the tech job is
pretty much.
that he has, basically IT. So he's like, Iska takes to starting to like meditate in the gardens, but then she's not really meditating, she's talking to Hizo. And Hizo is really egging her on, not helping. He's not helping. Because Iskat, every time she starts to come to like, maybe I shouldn't like killing people so much. He's like, nah, that makes you powerful. It makes you strong. The Jedi are just scared of you. And she's like, you're right, Hizo. And it's not helpful. It's not helpful at all.
But that's the other thing. It's like drugs. Like when the school is like, yeah, a gangster's gonna come up to you and like they're gonna look all evil and stuff and they're gonna have red eyes and they're gonna offer you drugs. But it's not. Like Hizo was there to listen to her and like, technically like be her friend. And that's how she just kind of all her secrets out. And that's just
we learn later he was working for Palpatine. Because Palpatine, as we know, is kind of keeping an eye on any Jedi he thought could be used for his Inquisitor program, like when he takes over. And she was a person of interest, obviously, because how she likes the murdering and all that stuff.
The killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so and that was the thing really that I turned my dad like was when Hizo got introduced and he was like trying to be her friend. I looked at my dad and I was like, there's something fishy. And my dad was like, you're just like Iskat. And I was like, all right, well, I have trust issues. And he was like, so does Iskat. And I was like, all right, chill. I'm just saying there's something suspicious about this guy. And then, we found out that. And I learned to my dad. I was like, I knew it.
She's a deeply mistrusting person. Like, very paranoid. She is almost like textbook dark side. Like she has all those qualities, right? Like she really cannot keep her anger in check at all. Like she's deeply paranoid, deeply everything. It's just like a perfect recipe for dark side right within her, and she's very stubborn, and that's the thing too. Like any, obviously, the Jedi are people. So they're not perfect, but whenever someone tries to talk to her, tries to help her, and they're like, Iskat, like, do you want to talk about how you're feeling? And she's like, they're just trying to manipulate me. And she's like, no. And then she's like, why can't I talk to anyone about how I'm feeling? It's like, well, and it's like, it's just laid very bare for you to see it. And it's just so, like, anytime, I don't know, and it's all, like, she's so, like, stuck, like anytime someone tries to offer advice or tries to explain something, if it clashes at all with this like worldview she has of everyone being horrible and everything, like she immediately rejects it, like no consideration of other points of view. And that was also really she's so interesting. She's just a hot mess. It's so great.
It's just from the things that she thinks people are keeping secrets about because she's not being given the information that she wants. That's just where it all comes from. She wants to know about her. Well, she doesn't know later about her mom, but Sember is the jerk who's keeping all of these secrets from her. Like has, her mom's lightsabers, like deleted all the information about her, like completely wiped everything. And then was so rude. Not the word isn't rude, just so like didn't give her many compliments or just like didn't try to connect with her at all, and just kept her at this like sort of like awkward situation where she just felt like she couldn't talk too many people or anything, and then she kept her like out on missions that wasn't really missions. It was just like, going and getting relics and stuff. So she was really knowledgeable about all these things when all she wanted was adventure. She didn't know killing was her thing yet. She just knew that she wanted some kind of adventure. other than the things that she was doing already, because she would go to like a bunch of the Padawans, and the Padawans were like, oh yeah, we protected like the senator of this place and blah blah blah. She's like, that's cool, I wish I could do that. um and then, Sember dies, and then Sember's already making her plans for her future of being a librarian. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Sember's literally dead.
Yeah.
And Jocasta knew, was like, yeah, Sember said you would love to work here. And it's like, why? She's just
It's
being
interesting.
constantly stuck.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, right? Because she has like these like she has these like really like twisted view of people, and then she'll meet. She has these people who like reinforce that, like Summer and these other like she'll meet someone every
Yeah.
once in a while who like reinforces her view, and she's like, "That's it, I was right." When most other people are actually trying to help her. Like when she doesn't want to be an archivist, the Jedi are like, "Well, here, help the kids," and she even like admits she's like, "I always feel calmer after helping the kids with their meditation," and like she does like it. She admits that she feels really good for it. Feels really good for her, but she's also like she has this craving for excitement and ultimately violence that can't be satiated.
Yeah.
And like, and even when the Jedi are rewarding her, they're like, "Oh, you're doing so good with the kids, like you're doing great." And then she's like, "This is a punishment for they're not letting me fight." And it's like, she's very like wrapped up in her own head, and she's always thinking about herself and her own perspective, and never about what other people might really be thinking. And like she is so unwilling to
Or
see
needing,
past
since they
herself.
need her to, they need someone to train the younglings.
Well, but they have people because what's the name? Ahmed Best is still there. Like they mention Ahmed Best is still there. Like they have people to train the younglings, but they also think it's good for her, and they think she's good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do need her to fight. That's why they eventually do send her back out to the war because they don't have another choice. They need her to fight, but they're trying to do what they think is best for her and what evidently is better for her, as we see in the book.
I did
But
think
she's
it
so
was
wrapped up in
kind of,
her own head that in her own wants that she's unable to like process that outside of her own self. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? She's so self-absorbed.
I thought it was so like funny because it, like, there was they had like the ceremony of like knighting these kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, all right, so hey guys, we're out of Jedi, like all of them kind of died on the Battle of Geonosis. What do we do? And they're like, got a bunch of kids, um let's knight them. So like, that was so, I don't, for me
It
to
also
see,
wasn't.
like,
It was
it's
also. It was
obvious.
all Padawans that had been training for a long time, though.
No, I know
Already,
it
like they
was, but
weren't.
I was just like, if I was me, I would have been like, this doesn't feel real. This doesn't feel like I was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to actually get this right now. But like, I understand. I'm not like being mad at the Jedi Council for that or anything. But I was just like, damn, guys, chill out,
Yeah,
chill.
yeah, and it is
But
interesting
yeah,
to watch the Jedi. Obviously we're seeing it through Eskat's point of view, but it is interesting to see, another example of like how much their situation sucks in the Clone Wars.
yeah,
Because like most of them don't want to fight. Like you have Iskat, most of them like this isn't what they want to do, but they have to because if they don't, like they're just gonna let people die. They can't do that either.
mm-hmm.
And then also they're trying like they still like they have kids to take care of, and they're still trying to like
Yeah,
take care of their kids and like maintain their culture. I mean, they don't know they're about to be wiped out, but like they're like trying to
yeah,
keep their culture alive. But then also like if like without the Jedi, I mean, obviously the Clone Wars were rigged from the start, but without the Jedi, the Separatists would have steamrolled. You
mm-hmm.
know, like if not the clones, the citizens of the galaxy. Like how many times in the Clone Wars did we get to a planet and the Separatists are like, "Hey guys, check out my cool like city demolisher 3000. Watch this." And then the
Yeah.
Jedi are like, let's not. You know what I mean?
Let's not do that. That's
And it's
crazy.
like, yeah, it's yeah, and it's kind of so like, it's like I said, like she experiences these terrible things that reinforce this worldview, and it's so frustrating because then someone does betray her, do her wrong, and then she's like, "That's right, everyone's gonna do me wrong," and then someone genuinely does want to help, and she's like, "No, you're gonna do me wrong to the rest of them," and it's like it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, where she's so unwilling to see that someone might have empathy for her, might really be trying to help, might really understand. But because she is only seeing it through the lens of like, everyone's going to hurt me, everyone's going to betray me, I can't trust anyone, then that further like puts her deep in that hole. And it's sad, and it's also that happens to very real people where, people, not quite as dramatic as, becoming an inquisitor and, murdering people, but like, people get stuck in a mindset and then they kind of reinforce that mindset themselves, and it makes it really hard to climb out of these really harmful ideas that hurt you and hurt your livelihood and your happiness. So it's a very like real story in that way too. You know what I mean?
She's so me, for real, on God. Yeah, it's hard out here.
Yes, she does eventually go back out to the war, and she's like, "Yay, killing people!" And it's like, I don't think you learned anything.
Yeah.
I don't think you learned anything, Miss Cat. Yeah, and it's another example where it sucks because the Jedi, like, she, I mean, we're not there for the conversation that they have before they offer the mission to Iskat, but I imagine it was like, hey, like, I know we want to be careful with this girl that likes killing, but we have this mission, and you gotta admit she's really good at it.
Yeah.
So,
can we use her, please?
Yeah, so unfortunately she goes back out to the Clone Wars. I mean, I say unfortunately, she was ecstatic. I was like, oh no, like this is not good. It has a few missions to including with Twelin, and their final mission of the Clone Wars is when the thing happens. Order 66.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, were you gonna say something?
Her like weird crush on Tuolin. Cause
Yeah.
like they're not allowed to have crushes, right? But like it's just very like it was very weird because she would be like, he's so perfect and so great and like so amazing. And then later that crush just turns into like absolute hatred.
Yeah, like it's another thing where she twists it, and it just becomes like it becomes focusing on jealousy.
Yeah. But yeah, Order 66.
Yeah, Order 66 happens. And so, but it's a different Order 66. All the clone troopers are like ready to shoot, and then one of them walks over with a little hologram of Palpatine, because she had met Palpatine like very briefly early on. That's how he kind of knew about her, had Hiso keeping an eye on her. And Palpatine's like, "Hey, Iskat, I'm gonna kill the Jedi, but I don't have to kill you if you want to do stuff for me." And she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to die." And then Twalin's like, wait, what about me? And she's like, you're a Jedi. And then she lets the clones, as far as she knows, kill him.
Yeah. And then she justifies it by like being like, well, I want to survive, so peace out.
Yeah, so she leaves, and then that's when we get into the Inquisitoria. So they're still new. They're still early on. They don't got all their stuff yet. They don't have their castle. And all that stuff.
No, they're still on Coruscant. Or no, is this different?
Yeah.
Coruscant,
no, I think they're on Coruscant. They're still hanging on the old Jedi temple at this point because they don't have the fortress built. But yeah, they're like, and it's really interesting, right? Because she's an Inquisitor who's like, yeah, let's do this. I love killing people. I hate the Jedi. And then there are other Inquisitors who, and she's like aware of it, who fully like need to be tortured and brainwashed to become, like so like the second sister, for example.
Yeah,
that was interesting. And she's just like, huh, that's crazy. They should be stronger like me. It's like, is that the response that we want to have? But one of her missions. Oh, sorry.
Wait. My favorite part is when she's like, I sent someone, and then she finds what's his name? Hiso. And she's like, you? And he's like, yeah, I leaked all your information to people. Sorry. and then she just kills him. So satisfying. So
Yeah.
satisfying. And then my dad looked at me and was like, "You're a bad person." And I was like, "No, he's a bad person."
But yeah, but we also get into some of the like it is pretty satisfying early on for her when she's dark side, but she has a few moments. Like one of her first missions is to retrieve a Sith artifact from one of the like the merchants that Semberve would buy stuff from and like take it to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes in. He's so nice, and he has these little pets, and he's so sweet. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's Cat." Like, and he's not mean. He's so nice to her, but he's very worried. He's like, "Oh, like I heard about the Jedi. I was worried about you, and like this doesn't seem like you. Like you're not the same girl I knew." And he's very worried for her. And then eventually he's like, "Listen, I don't know what's going on. I wasn't there when the Jedi. I don't know because the Empire is saying like the Jedi betrayed everyone and all that." He's like, "I wasn't there. I don't know, but I don't think I should give this to you. I don't think it's the right thing to do. Like, please understand." And she like stabs him through a door, and that's when she's like, "Why do you make me do that?" And so it's like you can tell like she feels really guilty, but then she's also like the thing is like people like to accuse the Jedi of being suppressive, but it's really the dark side where you're supposed to suppress things, right? You need to suppress any feelings of guilt, and even like joy, like everything needs to be suppressed to be on the dark side, and that's what she's doing. And she's like suppressing those feelings of guilt and knowing that what she did was wrong. She's like, "Why did we do that?" And it's you just replace it with anger. Like that's the only emotion that ultimately the dark side really wants and allows you to feel the anger. And so everything just gets replaced with this hatred and this rage. She's like, "Why do you make me do that? Like, that was so stupid of him. He's so terrible and so mean. Like, if he just gave it to me, it'd be fine. I didn't have to do that." Like, and blaming him, and it's justifying she's always self-justifying everything. Like, no matter what she does, she never likes to have any recognition. She doesn't want to hear that she did something wrong. She just never wants to think about the fact that she might have made a mistake. She's always just like, "Why did you make me do this? Why did this person do this?" Like, she's never like taking accountability for anything ever.
Yeah.
And this is like the ultimate moment of that. It's very sad.
Yeah. It is. And it's just I'm pretty sure wasn't the Grant this doesn't change anything or me reasoning with her, but was that the part where the Grand Inquisitor was with her too?
I don't.
Oh, that was the cool part is that she landed a blow on Darth Vader. Sorry, I'm all over
she
the place
did.
now.
That was a little later.
But that was pretty cool.
I don't think he was with her. I think he sent her, and
Got
there's
it,
like
okay.
troopers waiting with her. I think that's what it was.
Got it.
I have to double check.
I
think he sent her on the mission. And she had like troopers with her.
Yeah.
Because I remember she was like, she like didn't know what to make of the troopers because she's like, "Are you gonna like shoot me in the back?" Like,
yeah.
what's going on? Which, I love clones. It's a little fair. You don't really know what's going on when with those brain chips activated.
Yeah, but then the cool part for me during all this, like where I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool. That's also messed up," because like Darth Vader comes by and starts picking fights with some of the Inquisitors,
because yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say really quick, like one of them doesn't have arms, and they're like, "It's fine, it's whatever."
Yeah, well, it's really interesting to see these like early days of the Inquisitors because like Vader. I mean, we know Vader does not like the Inquisitors. He thinks they're dumb. So he's like trying to he's like low-key trying to prove to Palpatine that they're weak because he can throw them around, but she gets a pretty good hit like on his crotch or something too. Like it was like really funny for no reason. Like I'm pretty sure like she straight up like stabbed him in the crotch, and then she was like,
I thought it was his head.
No, I think it was his crotch because I remember. Maybe it was a different scene, but I remember her like landing a blow in his crotch and being like, "Most men wouldn't like this. He's just standing here."
Well, so she does fight him twice. I remember
it might
one
be the second
was the
time.
head.
Yeah, I think it was the last one was the head when she was escaping. Spoiler alert.
Got it.
I think the first one she hit him in the crotch and she was like, "Why isn't he screaming?" And then he like knocked her out. I think that was the first one.
She lands I don't know why. Wasn't it?
I just remember that scene so well because I was like, it was so funny. I was like, "Girl, he's metal. There's nothing down there for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, because the Inquisitor she also lands a blow on the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. She's just good at fighting, which she
She
knows
is
it, and it's
very good.
great. But then she gets too into it, and it's like, all right,
Yeah. She also
you're scaring me.
has mad beef with the seventh sister from Rebels.
Yeah,
And that was really funny. They were messing each other up. Seventh Sister landed some pretty good blows on Cat because she was like in the med bay for a while. Like she was like out of commission because the 7th sister messed her up.
I thought it was lame though, because I was like, dude, you just like got your little, what's it called? Her bots to go after her. That's
Oh, her
lame.
little droids. Hey, gotta use your resources.
I guess. Fair enough. But yeah. And then Tuwalin,
But yeah, so it is interesting
Tuwalin
to see the
becomes an
Inquisitors
Inquisitor.
and all hate each other. He's one of the ones that has to get tortured into it, like the second sister. And it's very sad because he was like a really good Jedi. He was so sweet and so nice, and then he was evil.
Except when he would take credit.
Oh, he took credit trying to protect Iscat because she went on a murder spree.
I don't know what you're talking about. He took my credit for going on a murder spree. That was my murder spree.
You are Iscat. You are Iscat.
No, but that was interesting. Because I was very in between. I was like, he did take credit, and I was like, but also like, not really. No. Anyway, let's continue.
He's trying to protect her. Oh my goodness.
Rude.
Yeah. But anyway, all the Inquisitors really hate each other. Like no one likes each other, and it's really interesting. You know, Inquisitors kind of suck, but I love them. But yeah, this is when she like
really
goes. She does some like standard Inquisitor missions. Kidnapping babies, killing Jedi, all that fun stuff. And she also at one point takes like a personal mission. She's like, "Hey, Grand Quizzy, we're gonna go out I'm gonna go on a personal mission." And she went to like the quarry and like just when she learned all this stuff about her mom and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was interesting because like so much of the story, she was like, I feel like something's missing, that I don't know this, and it was like haunting her. And then she finds out, and she's like, I still feel the same. Why do I feel? And she gets mad about that. She's like, why do I still feel the same? Why didn't this fix everything? Learning this, like, why didn't I know? Like, why does this not help? And that's like, that was interesting too. And she's also a bit like, what if I had been raised here? And it's like, that would have been nice. But also, you do really like killing, and they don't seem to kill people here. So
yeah,
I don't know, girl.
It's a very like, I don't know. Like I've always been kind of like about like people giving their babies to the Jedi, but also like I understand it's for a good cause and everything. But the like culture that they took from her, I know it's like it was Sember and all that, but like
But also, it wasn't the Jedi took her. Her mom gave her. Her mom was like, I know.
I'm just saying, like, all the cultural things that she missed, that she couldn't learn, that everyone else got to learn about their own cultures and their own, like, not their family, because they couldn't do that. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been so much more cool. Like, she definitely would have been the same person, but maybe a little less confused. And so that I was so happy that she was able to go to her own village and like kind of learn for a bit, but she didn't stay there for long. I wish she could have, but she did talk about how like, well, she's an Inquisitor now, and if they found all these people, they would definitely kill them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then she like kind of meets like it's her grandma, right?
She meets like her grandma and or I think it's like mostly her aunts. I think her grandma had like passed away already. I think it's like mostly her aunts. She meets.
Yeah, so that I thought that was really sweet, and I like all the details that they give for like the for her village and stuff, and how it's more of like a what's it called, like the
A
women are
matriarchy?
mostly like, yeah, matriarchy. That was pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
That
But yeah, then
that
she's
must
like,
be
all right,
nice.
time to go do Inquisitor stuff. And she does like a bunch of missions, including some with Tualan, and they end up like having like a romance, but like they also like they're still like
So weird.
it's
It's so
very
great.
weird. It's really weird because they're Inquisitors and they're so mad all the time, but they're like, you're fine, and like they just kind of like go with that. It's a very weird. I wouldn't call it toxic. If it is toxic, they're both equally toxic at this point.
Yeah.
But it's just like a very strange relationship that they kind of develop. But it's like also it's very unique because, like I said, all the other Jedi like hate each other so much, or not Jedi, other Inquisitors, they hate each other so much. So it's like, well, she has a friend-ish now. Like she's someone to talk to, not all the other Inquisitors. But one of these missions has Master Clifon. I just like looked it up. I remember saying Master Clifon, who's the friend of Summer Bay and the friend of her mom. So there's like another Jedi, and then this one girl. Can't remember her name, but like one of the girls she went to school with. And so it
main
was like
jerk, main bully.
Okay, but she was like 12.
Still a bully. I'm not saying like she's still a bully, but I'm saying for the audience, she was the main bully.
Yeah, okay.
In the beginning.
She was a little mean when they were kids. Like she also like wasn't bully's a really strong word. Like she was just like, I don't want to train with this cat. She's scary.
I got
and
strong
like,
opinions.
But she was like, I don't know. She wasn't like
rude.
Like, she was like following this cat around doing stuff. Just the masters, and the masters should have done better about this. The masters like, hey, you want to train with this cat? And she's like, no, she's scary. And then like the other kids would follow along with this girl, and it was still really horrible. But this cat was so out of line because
rumor spreading jerk.
She was, but yeah. But anyway, so this guy finds her, and she's like in a cell, like emaciated, like she's really suffering. And this girl is like, "Oh my gosh, Iskat, you're here to save us! Like, so great, like Master Clifon's down there." And she's like trying to like make a plan with her, and immediately Iskat. First of all, this girl's asking her questions, and Iskat's like, "She's trying to take over. This is my mission." It's like no, she's not. She's asking questions and she's telling you like where people are so you can rescue them. And she's like trying to work with you. And immediately, of course, Iskat's so predisposed to being angry that she's trying to take over the mission. She's starving. She's almost like half dead.
Nah, I was just excited for Iskat to kill her.
No, I was
so excited. I was like, oh my god, this is such an Among Us experience.
Oh my gosh, I was so horrible because Iskat plays along with it a little bit, and then it's like she like chokes her death, and it's like very like brutal the way she does it. She like chokes her, and it's so like it's very graphic, and it's like it's really horrifying. And that's at this point, like it's not like with the merchant. She's just like no remorse, and that was scary.
I wouldn't have much remorse either.
She was 12 and she was kind of mean.
Yeah.
And now they're adults and she's like murdering her.
Now she's an adult. Now she can.
But she wasn't okay.
I know. This is more of like like if there were no consequences kind of thing, which there really kind of isn't in this. Like she is just an Inquisitor. Obviously in real life I would not be going around killing people when they were like, that girl's weird. It's just like it was just satisfying in the book to be like, yeah, do it. Who's gonna say anything?
I was like because it says so much about Iskat that she's doing that, and how far she's gone. Okay.
No, I know.
Also, the Master Clifon, the Jedi, who like the Master, he was like, because she like opened the cages to like do something, and then so she opened the cages, and he was like already out like trying to get his lightsaber, and she was like, look at him trying to get his lightsaber first before going to the other cells. It's like, well, this cat, maybe he wants to not immediately die. First of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, you would do the same thing. So, but Anyway,
Me?
so they talk about Iskat.
Oh, I was like, me personally? I don't
No,
know.
I don't know.
I guess.
But anyway, they talk about her mom a little bit, and
Yeah.
Iskat is really upset, and he's also nice, and he's trying to be like, look, I should have told you, but like it doesn't do you any good. And he's like trying to explain it. And, is he right? Questionable. Is he being nice? I think absolutely. And
Mhm.
she's like trying, and they fought a little bit, and he like uses a move or a form that he hadn't taught her because he taught her some lightsaber stuff. He like would take time during the war to like teach her stuff after Semperve passed away. And so he used like a form that he hadn't taught her, and she is so mad. She's like enraged. She's like, "Why did you teach me that? You thought I'd be better than you?" And he's like, "What? Like you're trying to kill me right now."
Yeah.
And then she does kill him. Yeah, because he's like been rotting in a cell. Like he's so bad.
Yeah.
And yeah. He also did the thing where he's like, "I know they're still good in you," and she like cut his head off. It's like it was really horrifying.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, that was tough to read that mission. Apparently not for you, but the whole thing was
Nah.
very tough.
Well, I also had to listen to it. There was no choice.
Oh right.
And Dad was in charge of it, so I couldn't pause it.
Yeah.
It just kept on going. No, it is like still suck. As much as I'm like that was kind of satisfying. The last one on that master, I was like, ugh, that kind of sucks. Even though, yeah, he did keep some information from us. Like, it also felt like to me, like, and it might have been because of the perspective of Iskat, but it just felt like he was constantly avoiding her, even after when Sember passed and everything, and she was like, "You want to be my master?" He was like, "No," or she was like, "Can you help me train?" He was like, "No,
Well,
I'm very busy."
train her. He also probably was busy because there was a war.
Yeah, I was just like, part of me was like, that makes it seem so bad. Just
Yeah.
she's trying
It's
so
really
hard to
hard
connect to
divorce,
someone, but also not really. She has
Yeah.
people that she wants to connect to, and the people that she doesn't want to or doesn't care to connect to is when she just starts to think this way. She wants a certain people to want her and want to be with her, connect with her, but those people weren't going to her at the time. So she just completely
She kind of wallows in
yeah.
her feelings. But it's like really hard because it's like you said, like there's these specific people who she wants to like be her people, and they either are busy or they have their other like personal hangups. And then there are like other Jedi who are like, "Hey, Scat, how you doing?" Like, and she immediately shuts them out. So it's like, it's complicated, so tough. But yeah, that was a tough read. It was a little bit funny because it was like whatever like bounty hunter like captured the Jedi, and was like trying to like Inquisitors were taking them from him. He was like, "Hey, good job! You can work for me if you want," and she just like immediately killed him. And that was a little bit funny. I'll give her that one. That was so I thought he like was doing like a long speech too, and I was like, "Oh, we're about to do like a boss battle." No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at one of their last missions was they were hunting a Jedi, but not any Jedi. It was Eth Koth from the Council. And it was Vader went on this mission. And they get there and they realize that Eth Koth had, after Order 66, had married and his wife had just had a baby. And Eth Koth is like, "Just let us go." And he gets his wife and kid on like a ship and they're leaving. But Vader ends up killing Eth Koth, and then
this part was messed up.
She was with like the fifth brother, I think, too. Yeah, and they go on the ship and they like find the baby, and they're like trying to take the baby, and Iskat's the one that's like, maybe we don't. It is a baby. That's our one little shining light at the end of the book. Her being like, maybe don't take the baby.
Yeah. But also, then later, she's
And then
like trying to
and then
explain
turns
it
out
to
she
people, and she's
actually
like,
did
I
take
just
the
didn't
baby.
want her to ever trust a woman ever again.
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
she
okay.
secretly took the baby and then gave it to Vader, and that was tough. And poor Ethkoth, rest in peace.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Which
He
I
was
thought it was interesting, because like they just that one little like technical slip up, like the fifth brother was like, all right, I'm a tattletale and snitch and go to Darth Vader about it. Um at least that's what I thought. And
Mhm.
then that's when Vader goes up to Tuolin and Iskat is like, okay, I'm gonna kill you both now.
Yeah. Well, it was like because I was like, it was so like I got really hopeful when this cat was like, "Oh, I'll take the baby," and I was like, "Yes, this cat, you can do this. You don't have to be this way." And then she's like, "Just kidding. I have a baby. I lied."
JK. JK, not
JK.
unless.
And then that's when the book ends, and you're like, "Oh, okay, weird ending, but sure." And then it's like epilogue. And it's like, "Oh, epilogue." Um, and then Iskat and Twelin are hanging out, and then all of a sudden, Vader shows up, and he's like, "Hey, you guys are gonna die."
Right
And
now.
Iskat and Twelin run away, but they don't run away good enough.
Yeah. But that is the part that is, I think, is the Darth Vader comics, right? Because that's like my dad was like, "Hey, you want to see them in a comic?" And I was like, "She's in a comic?" And there's like one little part of like I think it's the Darth Vader series where it is exactly that scene where he goes up to them and they're eating together, and then she and Tuolin run away, and they're like running away like on the tops of Coruscant, like on top of the buildings. And
Mm-hmm.
Vader is literally chasing these guys, like following behind, riding on top of like the cars, the ships passing by, and like, being Vader, showing off, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that they kill him, or at least something like that. And then Vader grabs them both, lifts
Mm-hmm.
them up, and makes them kill each other.
Yeah, that's how it was crazy.
Why my dad decided that I should listen to that and then also like actually see that in a comic book is beyond me. But that was awful and messed up. And then Darth Vader got in trouble by Palpatine and was like, "You can't be here anymore. Go away. Go take your Inquisitor somewhere else." Messed up.
Yes.
But that was and sorry. And then it's not like Darth Vader like actually just like killed them himself. He literally made them kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
Forced. It's messed up. I
Yeah.
didn't enjoy that.
No, that was not a good time.
No.
Yeah, that's the book. That was a fun talk. Any other thoughts about Rise of the Red Blade?
Not really. Just I thought it was pretty cool. And again, I don't relate to her 100%. But I certainly was like, yeah, you get him. You get him, Iskat.
Mm-hmm.
Just.
I mean, I think, Iskat was, at least for me, relatable in the sense of, like, I could see, like, the worst parts of myself in her, like, the, kind of self-destructive, kind of selfish, some of those thoughts that come through of, self-doubt and distrust of other people. I could see that. And so it's like I could see where she's coming from, but I was also like, oh my god, girl, like this is not the way. And it's like I said, it's a very realistic story in the sense of those behaviors and how you can create a self-fulfilling prophecy when if you're convinced no one can be trusted, you're not going to see anyone as trustworthy, and it's going to reinforce that, and you just go in circles and dig yourself deeper into a hole. And but like the beginning like part like of the book says like you're not alone, you do have people you can trust, like it's it's not the right way to like follow down that path, and you can pull yourself out. Iskat didn't, but you can. You just have to like take the step, take the accountability, take the self-awareness.
Yeah. I'm trying to find, I know this, I'm trying to find the comic book that it is. I'm pretty sure it's just one of the Darth Vader ones, but
I think it's the second
doesn't really
one
matter.
because I just read the first one and it's not in that, so I think it's the second one.
Second one. Heard.
It's
I'll figure it out later.
2017 one.
Yeah, but that was a story.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it a lot, but damn.
So good. So good.
Damn, Delilah Dawson, why?
She's really good at writing like hot mess evil ladies. And it's great.
Yes.
Please keep doing it.
It's yeah. I think we talked about this before, but like I am the only books that I've ever read from Star Wars are mostly her. And I think Christine Golden, I think that's her name.
Oh, Christy Golden, yeah.
Christy, yeah. So yeah. That's messed up. She's great at writing them, so I guess like whatever else comes up that she makes, I'm on my way.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Remember, you can check out StarWarsGeek.com. Don't forget to sign up for Bingo and join us on October 25th. You can follow for updates on that and on other Star Wars Geek Girl things at SW Geek Girl and on the Facebook page as Star Wars Geek Girl. If you're looking for me personally, I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Spectre_5, 5 written out, not the number, and I'm on Twitter as at Zoeka.
For the Rogue Rebels, we got theroguerebels.com, Instagram and TikTok at The Rogue Rebels, Twitch at Rogue Rebels, podcast wherever you're listening to the Star Wars Geek Girl Facebook page, The Rogue Rebels, and Twitter at Rogue Rebels Fam.
All right, thank you so much for listening. Check out Rise of the Red Blade if you haven't already. It's so good. Highly, highly recommend it. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzy.
May the Force be with you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.